I've always used anime as a way to calm my mind. Growing up, Dragon Ball Z wasn't just a show. It was comfort, no matter how bad things got. Hearing Goku's voice, that familiar theme song, it always brought me back to something safe. But safety doesn't last forever. It started 2 weeks ago. I was browsing an old forum that archived lost TV recordings, mostly VHS captures from the late 90s and early 2000s. Hidden between hundreds of random uploads, I found a strange file named DBZ Kai 01 Uncut Tonties. I thought it was just a mislabeled rip of the first Kai episode, but the upload date caught my eye. It said 2005, that didn't make sense. Dragon Ball Z Kai didn't air until 2009. The file was only 94 megabytes, which was too small for a full episode. Still, it opened fine. The Toei animation logo appeared, but the background was grey instead of white, and faint static lines ran through the image. Then the title card appeared. There was no music, just a plain white text on a black background that said, "The beginning that shouldn't be." The episode opened normally. Goku was training with Gohan in the woods, but there was no background music, no laughter, no sound effects. Only the faint sound of wind, rough and uneven, like it was recorded outside a real forest. The colors looked faded like an old tape. Then Goku stopped mid-punch. His smile stayed on his face too long. His eyes didn't move naturally. It looked like he was staring past the screen. I paused the video. The timestamp read 4 minutes and 22 seconds. When I pressed play again, it jumped forward to 6 minutes and 39 seconds. That's when things changed. The screen cut to Kame House, but something was off. The ocean was completely still, like a photograph. The colors had blended into each other. A faint whisper played beneath the static. I couldn't tell the language, but I understood a few words. He shouldn't have come back. Then Goku appeared again. He was standing alone in a white empty space under a black sky. He looked around for a long time. The camera didn't move. After nearly 20 seconds, Goku slowly tilted his head toward the screen. His mouth moved, but no sound came out. Then the video stopped. My monitor flickered, and for a split second, I saw a reflection of my own room on the black screen. But from above, like a camera was watching me from the ceiling. I unplugged my PC. That night, I dreamt of Goku's face again. Not the cheerful one. The other one. The one that stared at me through the screen. He wasn't smiling anymore. I didn't sleep well after that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Goku standing in that empty white void, staring through me. When I woke up, the first thing I did was check my computer. The file was still there, sitting on my desktop like it had been waiting. The thumbnail looked different. It wasn't the same frame from before. Now it showed a close-up of Goku's face, darkened, with only one visible eye. I don't remember pausing it like that. I almost deleted the file, but curiosity got the better of me. I opened it again. This time, the episode started with static, louder and heavier than before. Then a voice spoke, not part of the original audio mix. It was low, distorted, and sounded close, like someone whispering directly into my earphones. It said, "You shouldn't be here." The image cut to black for a few seconds, then showed the same forest scene from before. But Gohan was gone. Goku stood alone again, his arms lowered, breathing slowly. His movements were strange, almost human in a real way, like someone rotoscoped a live actor over the animation. Then he spoke. "I didn't stop it," he said. I froze. It wasn't Goku's voice. It wasn't Sean Skemmel or Masako Nozawa. It was something in between, layered, glitching, like two voices trying to speak from the same mouth. He looked down at his hands. Blood dripped from them, animated poorly, almost lazily drawn, but still disturbing. Then the frame cut to black again. The video timeline had reset itself, back to 0 seconds. But when I pressed play again, the screen didn't show the Toei logo this time. It showed a new line of text. "Do not watch again." I pulled off my headphones. I could still hear faint static, even though the video wasn't playing. I closed the player. The noise continued for 3 or 4 seconds, then stopped on its own. I checked the file's details. Something had changed. The size was now 107 megabytes, bigger than before, and the modification date matched the exact time I was watching it. I tried scanning it for viruses, but my antivirus froze halfway through. The screen flickered again, and for a second, the wallpaper on my desktop changed. It showed Kame House, that same frozen ocean from before. When I restarted the PC, everything looked normal again, but the file's name wasn't the same anymore. It now said DB's Kai 02 Uncut.ts. I never downloaded a second episode. I tried to convince myself it was just my imagination. Maybe stress, maybe lack of sleep, but I knew it wasn't. The file had changed again. I didn't touch it. I hadn't even opened it. Yet the name had updated to dbzkai03 uncut.ts. The size had grown to 115 megabytes. The modification date was current, exactly the moment I was sitting at my desk. I turned off my monitor and left the room for a few minutes. When I returned, my headphones were plugged in, even though I hadn't touched them. A faint hum was coming through them, almost like static. But if I listened closely, I could hear whispers. The same voice from before. "You can't leave," it said. I ripped off the headphones. The sound stopped. My heart was racing. I sat back down and stared at the file. I knew I had to open it, even though part of me screamed not to. I double-clicked. The episode began as usual. Forest, Goku, no Gohan. But the forest wasn't still this time. Shadows moved in ways they shouldn't. Branches bent backward. Trees appeared in places they weren't in the previous episodes. I noticed something impossible. A shadow in the shape of a person crouching behind one of the trees. Not animated. A real shadow, like from my own room. Then Goku spoke again. "They're watching you," he said. The sound was clearer now. The voice came directly from the headphones, though the video's audio track remained silent. I wanted to look away. I wanted to close the file, but my fingers froze. The scene shifted suddenly. The camera angle changed. I was seeing from Goku's point of view. My room, my desk, me, sitting here. The player didn't show my face, but I knew it. My reflection in the black screen. I could see it in the shadows. The whispers grew louder. "Why are you here? Why won't you stop?" I yanked the plug from my headphones. Silence. But the feeling stayed. I couldn't shake it. I tried scanning the file again. This time, my antivirus didn't freeze, but it reported the file as corrupted beyond repair and immediately flagged it as suspicious. I thought about deleting it. I even dragged it to the recycle bin, but my computer refused. The file jumped back to my desktop. Then, for the first time, I noticed something in the folder icon. A tiny moving image. Goku's face, smiling but wrong, twisted, watching me. I sat back, breathing heavily. I realized then that this wasn't a file. It wasn't a video. It was something alive, something aware. And it wasn't just observing Goku anymore. It was observing me. I stopped opening the file for a few days. At least, that's what I thought. Every morning, when I turned on my computer, the folder was already open on my desktop, as if I had been using it minutes before. The file name kept changing. dbzkai04 uncut.ts, dbzkai04 edited, dbzkai04 final. Each version appeared on its own, with no trace of when or how it was created. I tried restoring my system, but even my backups contained the same file. Somehow, it had followed me. I started hearing the static even when the computer was off. It wasn't loud, just a soft, distant hum, like an old TV left on in another room. My cat wouldn't come near the desk anymore. She would sit by the door, staring at the monitor, her fur standing on end. One night, I decided to record myself sleeping. When I checked the footage the next morning, I froze. Around 3 a.m., the monitor lit up on its own. I could see the reflection of the video player on the screen, and for a moment, my sleeping body twitched. I heard a voice through the microphone, a whisper that said, "He's almost ready." I didn't remember hearing it during the night. That same day, while walking through the living room, I passed a mirror and stopped. For a second, my reflection didn't move when I did. It looked back at me with the same slow, heavy motion Goku had in that video. The same smile. I barely leave my apartment now. Whenever I try, something feels wrong outside. The sky looks slightly darker, like the color has been drained. The people walking by feel out of sync, their steps half a second too late. When I got back home yesterday, the power was out. The monitor turned on by itself, glowing faintly. The file was playing again. Goku was sitting on the ground, facing the camera. The background wasn't the forest anymore. It was a blurred, dark shape that I slowly recognized. My room. He looked tired. His voice was almost human when he spoke. "It's not the show," he said. "It's the signal." The screen glitched. For a split second, I saw frames of my own face, distorted, flickering, like I was part of the animation. The audio warped again, but beneath the distortion, I heard something familiar. It was my own voice, whispering from inside the static. "I don't know how long I've been here. Days, weeks, maybe months. Time doesn't feel real anymore. Every moment I try to leave, something pulls me back to the desk, to the file. Yesterday, I thought about deleting it one last time. I dragged it to the trash. It vanished. I felt a small relief, almost hope, but when I looked at the screen, it turned on by itself. The file was back. The name had changed again. DBZ Kai Final TS. I clicked play. The first scene was empty. A white void, just like before. But this time, there was no Goku, no sound. Just a single line of text in the center of the screen. You are next. I tried to turn off the monitor. Nothing worked. The screen glowed brighter and brighter until I could feel it in my eyes, my chest, my mind. The reflection in the black glass wasn't me anymore. It was Goku, twisted, looking down at me with that same smile I had seen in every episode. Then I heard it, my own voice, coming from the speakers, repeating everything I'd whispered to myself in the last weeks. Every fear, every doubt, every moment of terror. I screamed, but no sound came out. The screen blinked once, twice, and then the void opened like a door. I felt myself being pulled forward. When I opened my eyes again, I was inside the episode. The world around me was perfect animation, colors sharper than reality, yet wrong. Shadows moved in impossible ways. Goku was there, sitting calmly, staring at me. He spoke softly, almost kindly. Welcome back. You'll stay with us now, forever. I tried to move, to fight, to resist, but I couldn't. The white void swallowed everything, and I felt the last pieces of my reality slip away. Now, I am part of the file. I exist only when someone opens it, and I see them watching, just like they saw me. If you find it, don't play it, don't watch, don't listen, because once you do, it will know you exist, and it will want you next.